You may think you are waiting for money, but money may be waiting for you too. Money is always moving. It flows through people, decisions, opportunities, and exchange. But it is also a mirror. It does not simply reflect how hard you work. It reflects the state you are living from. When anxiety becomes your baseline, money begins to feel farther away. When fear takes over, your choices become smaller. When you start chasing money with desperation, the distance between you and abundance quietly grows. You may have worked hard for years and still feel as if nothing is enough. You may have earned more, yet still live with the same pressure in your chest. The numbers may change, but the inner state remains untouched. This is the part most people miss. The problem is not always the amount of money in your account. Sometimes the deeper problem is the frequency from which you are meeting money. Money carries the movement of abundance, but many people, without realizing it, keep sending out scarcity, fear, doubt, the constant feeling that something is missing, the belief that life has not given them enough. And the more deeply that state settles into the body, the harder it becomes to recognize opportunities, trust new possibilities, or allow money to move naturally into your life. You may think you are chasing money, but money may already be waiting for you to meet it from a different state. A state with less fear, less desperation, less scarcity. Because money's frequency fears scarcity. This is Momentum Arc, a space for inner exploration and spiritual growth. Your likes, comments, subscriptions, and super thanks do more than support this work. They help this message reach more souls who are ready for real change. Lewis Howes was once a professional football player. He later became a widely known author, podcast host, and personal development coach. His book, The School of Greatness, became a guide for people who wanted to break through old limits. It showed them how to build a stronger life from the inside out. The book speaks often about self-image, habits, emotional discipline, and the inner state required for success. And beneath all of that is a simple idea. Before a person can create a different outer life, they must become different in their inner world. In the language of money, this idea becomes even sharper. You must first become the kind of field that money can resonate with. Only then does money begin to move toward you in a more natural way. Money does not come to soothe an anxious soul. It does not arrive simply because you are frightened, exhausted, or desperate for relief. It moves through a different kind of opening, the permission you give yourself to receive, the trust you carry in your own value, and the steadiness with which you allow abundance to belong in your life. The more anxious, scarce, and self-doubting you become, the more those emotions build a wall around you. You may think you lack money, but what you are really missing is often the inner clarity and stability that can hold it. Howes points toward this in a simple but powerful way. You are not waiting for money to change how you feel. You are learning to become the state that money can flow toward. That is the root of manifestation. Change begins inside. Money is only an extension of the vibration you have already become. When people feel scarce, the deepest problem is not always a shortage of money. Something more intimate begins to collapse, the sense of being valuable, supported, and allowed to exist without constant proof. Scarcity feels like separation. It is as if a radio has lost the signal. You can turn the volume higher, but the broadcast is still full of static. You may think you are calling money toward you, but your inner state is no longer tuned to the channel where receiving can happen. This disconnection quietly leaks into daily life. You delay replying to messages. You avoid phone calls. You stop looking at bills. You move away from the creative work you once loved. The moment your sense of value disconnects, the rest of reality begins to feel unstable as well. Relationships grow distant. Health weakens. Inspiration dries up. The inner support beam starts to disappear. Scarcity closes the body and narrows perception. It not only blocks you from seeing opportunities, it also closes the door through which your own value could move into the world. And the most dangerous part is that it usually does not happen all at once. It gathers quietly, one small surrender at a time, until a person begins to believe, maybe I am just not lucky. But this is not fate. It is a frequency shift. Money is a manifestation of a higher order energy. It does not easily flow into fields of fear, urgency, judgment, and inner conflict. It moves more naturally toward people who are stable, clear, and internally connected to their own value. Not because they are favored by life, but because they are no longer postponing their permission to live until money arrives. When you live with the thought, I will begin once money fixes this, you hand your power to absence. You turn the future into rescue and money into salvation. But the door of change never opens from the future. It opens from the frequency you choose now. There is a question that goes straight to the center of this problem. Why can a person work so hard and still feel as if they have nothing? Very often, the answer is not laziness, bad timing, or lack of talent. It is the quiet belief, I am still not enough. I am not ready yet. I have not earned the right to let money in. Many people are not waiting for money. They are waiting for some final confirmation of their own worth. They imagine that once they prove enough, achieve enough, improve enough, and become impressive enough, money will finally come. But the hidden thought underneath that effort is the very barrier money cannot pass through. I am not yet worthy of abundance. It is like telling the world, come back when I have repaired myself. And what the universe hears is, I am not ready to receive. When you begin to believe you are worthy, something changes before any number changes. You breathe differently. You speak differently. You make different decisions. Money is no longer being called toward a person who is begging for rescue. It begins to echo a person who has entered a new state of being. Manifestation is not waiting for fate to flip a switch. It is becoming someone through whom energy can move without obstruction. So instead of asking only, what should I do to get more money? Ask a deeper question. If I were already standing in abundance, how would I meet this day? How would I speak? What would I stop apologizing for? What would I stop delaying? House often frames greatness not as a final achievement, but as an ongoing process of becoming. In the same way, wealth is not only about reaching a target, it is about becoming the person whose daily choices, emotions, and presence are already in relationship with abundance. The person money responds to is being formed in the smallest moments. Every time you choose whether to trust your value or abandon it. The universe does not reward scarcity, and it does not punish poverty. It reflects frequency. You may have believed that money will arrive one day after you become disciplined enough, smart enough, careful enough, or deserving enough. But in a deeper sense, money is already standing in the field of possibility, waiting for you to change the way you are meeting it. Money does not easily enter a heart that is still arguing against itself. It does not settle in a home where the deepest belief is, I am not good enough for this. It flows toward the person who is ready to recognize value, create value, and admit that value can return. Many people spend their lives running through the outer world, trying to find more income, more safety, more certainty. But the real breakthrough often begins when they stop defining themselves through lack. Your thoughts, your words, and the beliefs you repeat every day form your vibration. The universe does not respond to the slogans you say on the surface. It responds to the conviction living underneath them. That is why the same strategy can create abundance for one person and deepen scarcity for another. The method may be identical, but the frequency behind it is not. A simple practice can begin to change this. At the end of each day, ask yourself, Where did I create value today? Did I live, even for a moment, in the state I wish to manifest? This is not a performance review. It is a way of reminding yourself that you are a creator of energy, not a victim of absence. Instead of asking only, "How much did I spend?" ask, "Where did I participate in value? Did I offer something true? Did I help someone feel seen? Did I contribute to the movement of goodwill in the world?" When your attention shifts from self-judgment to value creation, the field around you begins to change. You stop treating money as a verdict on your worth and begin relating to it as part of a living exchange. The money you have been waiting for may also be waiting for you to stop living inside the sentence, "Once I have money, then I can begin," and instead enter the state, "Even now, I am already someone who can create, receive, and hold value." Money does not lie. It reveals the vibration you carry beneath the surface, how you see yourself, how deeply you trust life, and what you truly feel about the future. This is why someone can appear successful on the outside and still keep losing money on the inside. If the hidden belief is scarcity, the energy will not hold. If the identity is unstable, the result cannot remain stable for long. A frequency shift is not about working harder. It is about changing the role you feel yourself playing in relation to money. Are you the one chasing after it, hoping it will finally choose you? Or are you becoming the field from which value naturally moves and to which money can naturally return? This is not a change in performance, it is a reconstruction of identity. It happens in small, almost invisible moments. When a thought appears, do you believe money can come? When support is offered, do you allow it? When an opportunity arrives, do you recognize it as possible or immediately search for proof that you are not ready? Every choice calibrates the vibration. Every act of permission brings money a little closer to your field. This is also a rebirth in the relationship you have with yourself. You may have spent years wondering whether you deserve abundance, whether money is meant to rescue you, whether society, other people, or fate are responsible for the lack you feel. But at some point, a more honest question must be asked. Have I been rejecting money at the level of frequency? The answer may be uncomfortable. You may not be lacking money as much as you are repeating the old script, "I am not enough." Greatness, in the deepest sense, is not merely an achievement. It is a state of being. Money is similar. It is not a future number that arrives to save you. It is a new way of living now, with a new energetic pattern. Money does not come to comfort you. It comes to witness your transformation. It does not arrive because you suffer enough, cry enough, or prove how strong you have been. It responds, quietly and precisely, to the belief state you are living from. When you stop saying only, "I want," and begin living from, "I am," reality starts to turn. Your body language, emotional tone, decisions, and daily choices begin sending one clear message: I am worthy. I am ready. I can receive. That is when money can move toward you, the way a river finally finds the channel that can carry it. Scarcity is not your destiny. It is a misaligned belief that can be dismantled. It was never the universe's sentence against you. It was a frequency you repeated without realizing it. Real abundance is not measured only by how much money you possess. It is revealed by whether you can stand in the present without guarantee and still trust yourself, trust life, and trust the future enough to keep creating. It is the state that says, "I may not see everything yet, but I am preparing to receive what is coming." Money's frequency fears scarcity, but when you stop fearing money, stop chasing it, and stop using it as proof of your worth, something changes. You become open. You become steady. You become a place where money can arrive without having to fight through panic. At that moment, you are no longer waiting for money to define you. You have become the kind of person money can recognize. So do not only wait. Vibrate differently. Become the field money wants to flow toward. And begin now.